Hello. Good evening. My name is Kayla Joshua. I'm a financial service strategist. And what I do is teach people how to make 100K in 90 days using my power framework. And today is day number two. Ooh, this fly. Day number two of my challenge on how to start a business. And we're going to talk about business structure today. Let me see if I can find myself live on Facebook. Give me 1 second. I do see the live. And if you can hear me, drop a one in the chat. And if you're going to go back or if you're watching the replay, definitely type replay afterwards. Make sure I post this in the group because StreamYard doesn't allow you to stream to the group anymore, which sucks. But hey, so once again, my name is Kayla Joshua. I'm a financial service strategist, and I teach people how to make 100K in 90 days. And today I want to talk about the different types of business structure. Before I get into that, I wanted to say I honestly knew absolutely nothing about business structure. I am part of a company called One Stop Taxes, and once I'm an independent contractor with them. And once they offered LLC setup, I thought like, whoa, this is great. Let me sign up for LLC because I never had a business before, know what having a business entails. And when I tell you having a LLC or having a business is not for everybody, you have to know what comes with that responsibility of having a business. So not jumping right into a LLC would not be the best thing for you. You have to know what I need a LLC for. You don't have to. A lot of people have side hustles these days, and basically that's anytime you make over $400, you have to report that income to the IRS, and you report that as self-employment income. A lot of people say, I'm not self-employed. I used to work for welfare, and I used to ask people, do you have a job? No, I just cut hair on the side. Oh no, I just do nails. That means you have a side hustle. That's called self-employment income, and you can file that self-employment income on your taxes, and so on and so forth. And you can use that, even when you're purchasing a home. But a lot of people aren't aware that they're considered, sole proprietors or self-employed people. But I wanted to hop on today and give you a couple definitions. And if you can hear me, definitely drop a one in the chat. Give you a couple of definitions of the different of, types of business structures and what might be best for you. Just because you're self-employed doesn't mean you necessarily have to jump straight into an LLC, because getting an LLC means you have to pay, to get that LLC. Some are cheap in some states, some are a little bit more expensive, but every year you have to renew that LLC. You can work under your side hustle just with your social. The main purpose of getting the LLC is to separate you as a person from your business. And what I mean by that is, if you are a sole proprietor, say you are a hairdresser, and somebody sues you because you perm their hair and you burnt their hair, they can come after you and your personal assets. If you have an LLC, you're separating yourself from the business. So that's the point of having that LLC. But keep in mind, LLCs aren't for everybody. If I'm not going to say there's a set amount of income that you need to make to become an LLC, but I would take into consideration that you have to keep that LLC up. So first and foremost, if you see my chart I have here, sole proprietor, one person has the business, unlimited personal liability. So everything will fall on you. God forbid if something happened, and you pay self-employment tax, which is 15.3%. So you file that income on your personal tax return. So that's what you are when you are a sole proprietor. You can work that sole proprietorship under your social, or you can get an EIN number from the IRS for free and work that sole proprietorship. So that's what a sole proprietor is. Next is a partnership. Now, a lot of people think that a partnership has to be something that's filed with the state. That is not correct. You and another person can say, hey, we're going in business together and we're going to create a partnership. As long as it's a legally binding agreement, it could be verbally. That's a partnership. You just have to make sure that you guys both agree on whatever the terms and conditions of that business is. Once again, though, that does separate you from the business, and you have to report your portion of however much money that partnership made on your personal tax return. You will receive what's called a K-1 form in order to report that portion of the business on your taxes. So you'd have to have somebody complete that form, and the partnership tax return is the form 1065. And you also would have to pay taxes on the portion that you made, the self-employment tax. That would have to be paid for the partnership. And what I was speaking about earlier is the actual LLCs. LLCs could be, you have an LLC by yourself, and that's when you're separating yourself from the business. You still have to pay that personal tax. You can pay corporate tax if you set your LLC up as a corporation. One thing I had to learn the hard way is I thought that you get an LLC, you can set up payroll. That's a no. It's a no-go. Payroll is not needed for LLC. You can do an owner's draw from your account for LLC. You can do an owner's draw from your account for a sole proprietorship. You do not necessarily have to set up legit payroll if you have an LLC. It's best to set up payroll, but I personally, when I set up payroll, as far as paying federal and Medicare taxes until you have an S corp, which is another business structure that I'm going to go over today. So that's another business structure. Corporation. So what that is, you can have one person that has a corporation. So when we're talking corporations, we're talking like McDonald's, we're talking huge corporations. It could be multiple people on a corporation. A reason a lot of people get corporations is because investors are able to invest in corporations. So that's the main reason why people get corporations. But what people fail to realize is it sounds pretty cool to have a corporation, but you are paying double taxes on a corporation. You're paying taxes on the money that you made, and you're paying taxes on the dividends that's distributed amongst the corporation shareholders. So shareholders with the corporation. So you want to keep that in mind when it comes to corporations. There may be some form of double taxation. Then we also have nonprofits. Nonprofits are a type of corporation as well, which people fail to realize. But the thing with the nonprofits are you don't have to pay taxes on the money that is donated. So that's why a lot of people get 501(c)(3)s, because they want to be able to get this influx of money and have this money be non-taxable. But be careful with that, because it's certain forms that have to be filed, the 990s or the postcard form. So each type of business structure determines what type of taxes or how much you pay in taxes. So make sure you are choosing the correct business structure for your business and what best suits you. Don't just hop into something because you heard about it on TikTok, you heard about it on Facebook. You want to definitely make sure you're choosing a correct business structure. So me personally, I have, which is an S Corp. So S Corp is a taxation status, not a business structure. So I have an LLC, but it's taxed as an S Corp. So it's kind of like the LLC mixed with a corporation. So what that is, I have to have payroll set up. I have to have W-2 employees, even if it's just myself, because it could be one person in the S Corp. And everything else is the money that goes into the pot of the account. So you don't get taxed on it right away. That's why a lot of people say, oh, get an S Corp. And S Corps are good to have, but you have to remember there's fees that come along with it. So not only are you paying the renewal fee every year for your LLC, you're paying payroll taxes, you're paying the federal Medicare taxes, you have employee taxes. Now you have a corporation tax return that has to be done. that corporation tax return has to be done, and a K1 has to be created in order for that to go on your personal taxes. So don't just hop into something because you hear it's the trend, or it's, like, oh, this is cool, you save so much money. It's a lot that comes behind that. So first and foremost, like I said, LLC, not LLC, sole proprietorship, working under your own social or EIN number. Keep in mind, EIN numbers are free on the IRS website. There's no separation between you and the business with the sole proprietorship. Partnership, you and another person, ran by at least 2 or more people. It doesn't have to be recorded by the state, but you do have to pay taxes on the money that you personally made in that partnership. So that corporation tax return has to be done, and that K1 has to be created so the taxes can be filed correctly on that partnership. Then we have the LLCs, another pass-through entity. And pass-through, what that means is that you don't have to do it. I had a client tell one of my business partners, oh, I have a pass-through entity, so I don't have to file taxes. No. Pass-through entity means that this is passing through your corporation return that has to be done or filed by the 15th of March. So pass-through entity, you do your corporation tax return at 1065, that income is filed, K1s are generated to all the account holders. They take that K1 and file it on their personal tax return. That's what a pass-through entity means. That does not mean that you don't have to file your corporation taxes, okay? Then LLC, the beginning, which is usually a lot of people get the LLCs because like I said, you can have an LLC by yourself, and it's kind of the cheapest one to get, and you're not really worried about payroll because you could do owner's draws. Where the money comes in, that is renewing it every single year, making sure you're on top of that. So that's the thing for the LLC. So if you're really, I wouldn't even recommend people getting an S corporation taxation election with their LLC until they're making at least, I'll say 60 to 70,000 a year. And that's just a personal recommendation, but there's no set number. Another one, some states have what's called LLPs, which is limited liability partnerships. So it's like a partnership mixed with an LLC. And each person who's a part of that business is 50% responsible for that business. So if that business was to have a debt, they both will be 50% liable, 50% liable for the income, and so on and so forth. And then, of course, we have the corporations as well, which we're talking about big businesses, and people can start to pay to become investors in that business. So we're talking big business when it comes to corporations. So let me see here. Give me 1 second. I think I had some information. Let's see if I could find it. Invest. Let's see. Please bear with me. It's on my other one. Ooh. Let me see if I can share it. Give me 1 second. Share screen. Okay. This is a PowerPoint I had did once before on how to legitimize your businesses, basically explaining, what a side hustle is. That could be anything, tutoring, VA, blogging, delivery driver, dog walking, etc. We kind of went over that. You're not required to have an LLC. So a lot of people are selling LLCs and people really don't need them. So basically saying if you make over $400, you want to report that income as a side hustle. And let's see here. And these are some steps to, once you do decide your business structure on what to do. Opening that business bank account. You want to get your domain name, your EIN number, which is free. Your Dun & Bradstreet number. You want to list your business on 411, Google, Bing, Yelp. And yesterday I kind of went over some places as well. You want to start promoting your business, social media, Facebook, Google, Yelp, etc. So the same thing once you have that business structure decided where you want to go ahead and list your business. So, of course, adopting the right mindset is the first step, choosing your business name. We went over the website yesterday. You know, you're looking for your purpose so you'll know who to attract. Yesterday, we went over creating your logo, branding, so on and so forth, marketing your business. And today is really more so about that business structure, making sure you choose the correct structure for the business that you have and what's going to suit you. So, if you have any other questions or if you need help setting up your business, say you do want to set up a nonprofit or a LLC, or you have a LLC and you want it to become a S corp, you know, I would be able to definitely assist you with that. Just contact me. Here's my phone number and my email address, or you can go to my website at joinkayla.com and I'll be able to help you get started with that. But first, make sure you choose something that, you know, that's a passion of yours, something that you want to do, because you don't want to start an actual business unless you're ready to make it a legit business. If you're still kind of undecided, stay a sole proprietor. Don't go out your way to get an LLC or make it a S corp or anything like that. Okay. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you watch the replay later on, just type in replay. Good night and have a nice day.